Hey fam, so we're going to look at the Heatstroke game in this video a little bit. We're going to start off, this is like the second point of the game, or third, coming in at 40 seconds here. And we're going to look at why we're getting so many pick calls in this game to start with, coming out of our first stack formation. So you'll see right here, our stack didn't do a whole lot of hustling to get set up. It's not too bad, but we're really close. It's really hard for anyone to move at this point in time without a pick being a result. Starting to space it up a little. We're initiating our cut out the back, which is good. We've got our setter here, which is good. We're a little close to the disc. It wouldn't hurt to be a few feet further back before we even start this stack here. We don't want to start the stack based on where we pick up the disc. You want to kind of anticipate where the handler is going to center it to. And there's our first pick of the season. So to back up here and see how that happened, we got the back of the stack, the second in the back. Now if you're called to be the first cut out of the back of the stack, you need to back up so far that there's no way you're going to get a pick call whether you go break side or open side. And what happens here is the second cutter kind of passes the back of the stack, which then causes a cut on his defender, or a pick on his defender. Right there. We're kind of running into ourselves, picking ourselves and the trailing defender as well. So it's kind of wide open for that break shot, but it didn't matter because it would have been a pick anyways. So we'll watch this play out. In about 10 seconds, we're going to see pretty much the same pick all over again. It's good, we're in the danger zone. We get it out of the danger zone immediately. That's fantastic. And boom, pick number 2. Right in the break space again. So let's see how Parker ended up getting picked there. So right here you see he's cutting A from the middle of the stack, B so close that we're practically touching our own shoulders here. We're not even arm width apart, which is the bare minimum that our stack should be spaced apart. Our handler has got plenty of space to work with here, so he can work break side and force side to get open for Vinny, which is great. The front of the stack is properly spaced. Everyone else is clumped together here. So let's back this up a smidge. Parker is... I don't even know if it's Parker or not. Yeah, it is. Parker's second in the stack. He's going to end up cutting second back to the stack. We've got this guy should be back of the stack now that Dan's gone out. So he should be backing up, ready to cut deep, cut under, then cut deep, cut four side, then cut deep, four side, then cut under. But instead, he's going to set a pick here. So the whole motion there was just, he would have been better off standing still or just backing up and waiting his turn in the back of the stack.
If you're thinking about buying solar panels, don't. The US government will literally buy them for you if you take 60 seconds to answer a few questions below.
It's their body.
Now this isn't to say that cutting from the middle of the stack is always wrong. It's only wrong when there's not appropriate spacing and we're not on the same page. So we were too tight for anyone to get out of the stack that allows their defender to run with them. Matter of fact, we were squeaking through, barely getting through ourselves. So if you can't fit through a hole, there's no way your defender is going to be able to fit through that hole as well, and it's going to be a guaranteed pick. So you risk, A, a pick being called, B, if we make that throw and it's not caught, then it's a turnover that we had no potential of any profit or gain off that play whatsoever. So these are the easiest picks to avoid. We just need to move our stack far enough away from where the next throw is expected to be. We need to know if we're cutting from the back first, from the middle first. It's typically going to be from the back for a while. So let's look at what a good cut from the middle looks like versus what we were doing on the first couple plays of that Heatstroke game. This is Ring versus Pony. Championship game.
So the plan wasn't to punt and play D, but
we've got a handle back here, so he's got plenty of space to strike up on either side he wants to, or just take a dump reset and then look for a cut from the back. What's going to develop in this play is the called primary cutter right here. And you'll see that his defender is not taking anything away, which is great. This defender is forcing the cutter to come over here into the fore side. He's not giving up the break side. He's got his body turned so he can see the thrower. He can see the fender here. And he knows what he's taking away, which is the break side, and he's ready to plant and go with him into the fore side. So this guy is going to have a very hard time getting open here. This guy has got options. If he goes break side, he has to take this foot right up here, pick it up, turn his body, and then try and go with him. All right, so let's watch this play unfold.
now Saul Yannick picks it up on the goal line, and the rising backhand hits.
So there you've got a wide open break side shot. They probably didn't call him. Everyone's expecting this guy to be the hot player, but since he recognized he had the advantage of the break side compared to everyone else, if you get a break cut from the back here, any of these other defenders can poach that throw and get a D. They're most scared of this guy right here, which is why he's playing so aggressively on him. This guy's a little unsure. He doesn't take anything away. He gets beat by a few steps, and it results in a goal.
But now Saul Yannick picks it up on the goal line, and the rising backhand hits on.
So that's cutting from the middle of the stack. Done right. Okay, real quick on this play, we're going to show the importance of where the front of the stack is setting up. If you're on my offensive line, you notice a few points. We tried to have the front of the stack set up pretty deep and then move preemptively with no cuts whatsoever. Not a cut from the back, not a cut from the front, except the one setting the stack as our third handler, which is kind of what you have here. And what that allows us, when the stack is this far back, it allows these three guys on the field, the most qualified to catch and throw the disc as the handlers on that line, to progress the disc themselves. This is a byproduct of the three-man weave that we keep practicing.
Youngst swings it for Yannick. Spielman on the mark. Back to Williams. Youngst is in!
So there you've got a O-line goal out of the vert stack, where the vert stack did absolutely nothing except be a threat by moving back, acting like they're going to do something, not letting the guys come and poach under that throw. If the stack wasn't active here while the handlers are making their give and go for the score, this guy, if he wasn't worried about this guy, if this guy didn't look involved in the point, then he could have came and poached that D. He could have came and poached that D from the back. Could have came and poached that D.
Back to Williams.
But you'll see, they're not looking at the throw. This guy's just fronting his man, and this is the price you pay. If he had been positioned his body to the side here, taking away the break, he would have been able to see the thrower, the cutter, what was happening, and then he would have had his body turned to the fore side, ready to power through 3 steps and get a layout goal line D. But he's totally oblivious.
Williams.
Never sees the play.
Youngst is in!
Here we've got another championship game between Pony and Sockeye. We're going to watch the handler here complete a break throw, and we're going to watch the back of the stack, Jimmy Mickle, complete a perfectly well-timed cut. And I would call this a smart cut because he doesn't just go from the back of the stack and then sprint as fast as he can. He starts his jogging motion, just like the mushroom drill, as the play is developing. And then once he realizes his guy's going to catch the disc and he's going to be the next shot, he's already halfway through his cut and then powering through the poach in the lane. Break throw, break throw. We're watching Jimmy here. Break throw. Watch the back of the stack right here. He's starting his cut as soon as the second throw goes off.
Nickel on the doorstep. Backhand for Yacht, and Pony takes its time, works it down the field. And for Yacht.
So one more time. Break throw, break throw. Yacht's watching the whole time. Starts his cut
Nickel
early.
on the doorstep. Backhand for Yacht, and Pony takes its time, works it down the field.
Okay, back to our game. We're going to look at some defensive positioning. We're defending. We get put in an ISO situation in the end zone. Right here. Not right here. This is coming down. So Vinny shuts down that cut really well. Watch that again. I don't know how to go back anything in 5 seconds. So Vinny, he's looking at the thrower. He's looking at the cutter. He goes break side. He beats him to the space. He doesn't run straight with him. He's cutting off the throw here. So this thrower cannot complete that pass at all. His guy is going to reset and be out of the play. So Vinny's done good. He stopped the first look. Then the second person in the stack is going to come and cut. He's now their ISO. And immediately, what you want to do when you're on offense is always to get your defender to have to turn their hips. And here we have to turn our hips all the way to go to the break side. We didn't get in front of him. This guy just went straight break side, full speed. Whereas if we were backing him, taking that away, then he would have to take a second to come around and then go break, or go deep and then go break. Instead, he gets to go straight where he wants to, which he's typically, if people are the same speed, he's going to be a step ahead because he goes first, then we follow. But not only is he a step ahead in that regard, because there's no obstacle there, we have to turn our hips here and take off after him, which is going to result in him getting open. So one more time. Not taking away the break. Runs right by. Okay. Okay, on the very next play, we're going to go back to another pick situation. This one's kind of funny because it's one of the rare three-man picks. So they pull. We start off good. We center the disc. And then come out immediately with a good breakthrough. But that breakthrough really didn't matter because of the pick that just happened here. So we'll rewind. Now we're going to watch the back of the stack. So our first cutter is here, and his cut's okay. He goes out, he goes in, he goes out, he stops. That's not a cut at the end of it. So he's working hard, but he's spinning his wheels. Our first cut out the back, there's lots of options, but that shouldn't be one of them. You can go deep, make a commitment cut, go deep break, come under, which would have been ideal because that's the side that the disc is on. If he cuts under and is open, that's going to be a hard throw because there's multiple players here who can poach that lane and stop that throw. So cutting this side is kind of a waste of time because the thrower can't see him from there. If he cuts straight under, that's fine. Then he can reset here. If he goes deep, he can reset to this side, this opposite, and then get back in the stack out of the way so he's not cutting off any other good cuts for Jaron there. And then we see our second cutter kind of just comes into him, followed by a third cutter. So our first cut doesn't go anywhere, resets straight back to the back of the stack, which is where the next cut is developing from. And then the third cut, it just runs into all of it again. So it's if anything, it's a bit Three Stoogey here. So cut, nowhere to go. Cut, nowhere to go. Pit, pit. So do we see? We'll watch it one more time. Cut, cut, cut. And nobody's open. None of those cuts cut somewhere that was meaningful for the man who just got a breakthrough over here. That's a hard, he's in the danger zone. We don't want to be hucking it up the sideline. So that's going to be a tough throw to make there. This guy, there's no way he can get the disc here. And then I think he's just there as a result of the chaos. We'll watch it one more time. See if anybody got open for the handler here. Nobody was heading anywhere that was a viable shot. So the important takeaway here is when you cut, make an actual cut, and then make a cut that we can throw to. And then after you've made the cut, if we still don't throw it to you, you've got to reset behind the front of the stack, because remember, that's another handler for us. And we've only got 4 guys in the stack, and 3/4 of them managed to run into each other. So we've got 3 handles back here right now. All right, so now we're going to watch this play finish out. This is an interesting play with a lot of takeaways here. After that trifecta pick, we managed to get our bearings back. We're setting up our vert stack. We get a good undercut. Stack's moving. Good give and go. Nice handler movement. Nate to the danger zone, which this is fine. It's not ideal. So what would have been better would have been a break throw or a gainer. But Nate's going to look up the field here. Has a wide open guy. He's in the danger zone. We're looking to help him out immediately. I love that. We get a great break throw around. That throw is much harder than it looks, especially with good defenders, a good mark and a good defender here. We pull it off, and we're initiating a well-timed cut to continue that. I love this. I want to see it every time. It's beautiful. Well-timed, foresight cut there. Well, they're marking him now. All right, now let's look at why that happened. So you see, we've got Nate. Watch Nate after. Watch Nate after he gets off the sideline here. So Nate's going to continue to jam. Watch Nate. He's going to clear up through our cutting lane. So now we're stranding him. If he had been open, that would have been totally fine. He could have hit him there for continuation, give and go. He's covered. So now this is a hard shot because we've got 2 guys running into each other. This guy's, look at him. He's eager. He's watching the disc. If that disc goes anywhere near him, he's going to change directions, leave Nate, and go get the D. Back of the cut falls down. That's okay. We've got Nate now cutting deep while we're getting our breakthrough around, which is okay because ideally he could, after he makes that cut, have another continuation come down this way. This guy's cutting open side to someone who's already throwing the disc the opposite direction, so this cut is going to be a waste of time. Hit that breakthrough. We've got Nate coming back under now, which is good. We cut from the middle of the stack. He's not open. Nate could have been more open if that wasn't there. I think he slowed down because he saw his lane got cut off. Nate's going to go deep again. Oops. So essentially, after all that, our handler had nobody open to throw to. I'm not sure what the stall got to there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's had 0 cuts, 0 throwable cuts. He's at stall 5 or 6. He should be announcing 6 any second now. We're clearing through, resetting here, which is the right place to reset to. Front of stack is a little close, which makes Jaron not have as much room to get open or for our thrower to throw into space. We're at stall 6 or 7. I don't know where that's going to. Maybe it was the Nate coming under and was just a little low, but his guy's on his hip, and you've got multiple people there that can poach the lane. So we get to stall 6 there. We're on the break side of the field. We should have this guy being hot, this guy being hot at stall 6. And then instead we look for something else, and it doesn't work out. All right, so on this play, we're coming out on offense, just like every other point this game. And we've got we get into a great host stack here. Spacing looks good. Timing looks good. Dan makes our first cut here. It's a well-timed cut. He gets wide open. See why it doesn't matter. Almost a pick there. And we get a D. So let's look at where that D came from. We've got the side, our fourth cutter over here, or first, whichever way you're counting. He's really far off the sideline. And that allows his guy to be practically in the middle of the field and run straight to leave his man, go straight across, and get an easy D off a cutter who just put in a lot of work to get wide open for a gainer. So Dan got everything right. If Dan catches the disc here, this guy's wide open for a big huck next. Now ideally, Dan's running full speed this way. A handler should follow that up. Dan dishes it to him in power position, and then we hit the deep throw. Because it's going to be a hard throw for Dan to catch running full speed, take 3 steps, stop, turn around, and then time that right. So if this guy doesn't get the poach D here, Dan should be looking for a strike from one of these handlers and a power throw, and bam, 2 throws, we've made a lot of yards. Instead, we've got this guy here hasn't made a cut yet, and he sees his guy's poaching, but Emery doesn't say anything or do anything. He allows this guy to poach here, and then we give him an easy turn. So to prevent that, we can be out here. We can be more of a threat by being active. He can be setting up fake deep cuts, in cuts, and then if the guy still ignores him, he's announcing, "I'm poach, I'm poach, I'm poach," and the handlers can see that, look Dan off, and then give and go with themselves, and then we'll have a big under coming, or Emery should be wide open since this guy was so poach. Okay, to wrap this video up, we're going to look at the danger zone and how even with the best players in the world, you'll see when you watch these games, even games like this where it's the championship game, 90% of the turnovers are occurring in the danger zone, which is where the defense wants the disc to go and the offense does not want the disc to go. Bam.
I can work on it.
No, it's fine.
Here, throwing the danger zone, he doesn't get any immediate handler help.
Trevor Lynch.
Like we want to see, but he's got a wide open end cut, which is definitely better. Now this guy just got out of the danger zone, but he sees that because of the way that play developed, he's got a free throw here. He's going to take it.
To Justin Allen.
But it's still a hard throw because it's in the danger zone. There's not a whole lot of space there. You're moving fast. It's a tight window throw. And even guys like this turn the disc in the danger zone. So the number one thing we can do on offense to prevent turnovers is not put ourselves in
it's
tight
fine.
positions.
Trevor Lynch to Justin Allen.
That's avoidable. Here's another example to conclude with of great players still turning the disc over because they're trying to make big plays from the wrong part of the field.
Here he is doing it for Ring on the biggest stage.
Bloodworth shoots it deep. Eric Taylor to the end zone. Kocher got it first. Bloodworth shoots it deep. Eric Taylor to the end zone. Kocher got it first.
And instead of that, he could have got out of the danger zone and looked for better, more wide open options and had an easier goal.